So this is the content, guys, that we discuss as part of this Spring session. We cover Spring Framework, Spring Boot, microservices, end-to-end Spring knowledge you will get here. From very basic Spring concepts to advanced Spring Boot and microservices. We will be covering 100% content here. Okay, including this, we are covering Hibernate also. Okay, one Hibernate free workshop session I'll conduct during our spring discussions itself during weekend. Saturday or Sunday, one day I'll take to cover Hibernate. So you will get the Hibernate knowledge as well, whoever joins this session, okay? And few advanced Java concepts also we will discuss here, just to help who are not having servlet knowledge while we go through MVC concepts, right? Or REST concepts, or controller implementations. They should aware of what is servlet. So that servlet discussion, and there are some design patterns also before going to MVC, front controller patterns. In general, in interviews, people will ask Spring MVC architecture or MVC flow. So to get more confident on that area, I will cover few advanced Java concepts also, okay, before starting with MVC. So altogether, we are going to cover advanced Java, Hibernate, Spring Framework, Spring Boot, microservices. Okay, Hibernate and advanced Java will be like somewhat brief sessions only. I'm not going to spend our regular time for them, okay? So if you guys really aware, you need not to spend time. If you guys wants to, just brush up, you can join that sessions to get knowledge on Hibernate and advanced Java as well. And along with them, some tools also I will cover during our, weekends time. As between our course, right, we will get 7 to 8 weekends. So we will utilize at least 2 weekends to get more knowledge on some tools, right? For development, a lot of tools we have to use. So we will be covering few of them during our weekend so that you will get confident enough knowledge, okay, for your career, even for development or interviews. My agenda is after the spring sessions, one real-time project session also I'm going to conduct. Whoever put really efforts for the practice and all, right, independently they should able to pick up any system and they should able to design and deliver it. Okay, that much confidence, knowledge, I hope you will get through practice. Without practice nobody will get, but yeah, if you can spend good amount of time, you will get the end-to-end knowledge. Okay, so yeah, this is the content that we cover. Coming to content wise, and yesterday we discussed MVC, architecture pattern, just to, make comfortable everyone what is MVC, because we discuss everything by relating to this MVC to understand where exactly our technology will fit. This is the generic pattern, even if it is a Java developer who implement his web application, right? Web or any enterprise level application, right? Nice. In Java or any other technology, .NET, you are seeing many technologies, right? Web technologies, PHP or Python, whatever you pick. Even in Angular also, Angular React also, they are following similar patterns. Okay. So this MVC architecture pattern we generally follow for our application development. Okay. Even if it is a Spring framework or Struts framework or servlets or EJB, whatever you say. Okay. We follow the same architecture. So by using this architecture, if you separate your front end separately using view layer and controller classes separately by using controller layer and business and database classes by using model layer, we will get the clear logic separation and the maintenance of your application will become easy. Today we join one project and we will work and we will leave that company or that project. If somebody joins, they should able to understand your code. They should able to do the modifications or add-ons. While business needs more, features in your application, somebody should be there to add that new features, right? They should able to understand how you implement it so that easily they can able to modify it. So for the easy maintainability, right? And to make the updates in the sense again, the maintenance thing and the reusability, code reusability also we will be achieving here. Okay, so this is how clear logical separation we do. Anyway, we continuously, I mean, on daily basis, we will see this MVC. Our each topic will be, discussed by aligning with MVC so that you will clearly understand where exactly the topic we are discussing will fit in our application development. Okay. So today, I don't want to discuss any Spring related concept here, but which is very important to make sure you to understand how Spring implemented. Okay, you know who designed Spring? If you don't know, just Google it. Is it Spring developer by Rod Johnson? Where he is now? Let us see about him. Spring, previously known as Spring Source, was a software company founded by Rod Johnson, who also created the Spring framework, an open source application framework for enterprise Java applications. It is purchased by VMware for $420 million in August 2009. So now VMware is the head. Pivotal is doing all the updates for it. Okay. So initially he is the guy who, invented this framework and shared it as an open source application. Okay. Yeah, why he came to Spring, we will discuss later. Why his thought came towards Spring. Okay. Before Spring, there were, a lot of problems that we used to face for enterprise application development. Okay, in simple words, to make you understand, before cars, what we have to make our commuting or journey, we used to use bullock carts or something else, right? Which is not having any engine. So we face a lot of difficulties to travel, maybe by using, walking or by using some elephants or horse. How we started out traveling from one place to another place. It used to take a lot of time and lot of efforts, lot of cost. Once these engines invented, lot of vehicles designed on top of it, so our commuting, our journeys become simple. Now we can even travel much faster than the cars using airplanes, right? So that is how the invention, you know, came in that automobile industry. Coming to the this application development, especially in Java, right? Before Spring, after Spring. Before Spring, we used to write a lot of code, lot of server dependencies, many things that we need to apply to achieve our enterprise application, development. Well, once after Spring, right, they made it everything simple. So who did that is Rod Johnson. Okay, we'll discuss about him and this framework later. Okay. But before going to start Spring, right, it build on top of Reflection API. Okay, using core Java concepts only, using core Java concepts and servlets concepts only, they implemented it. Okay, so using Reflections API, he implemented it. You know, right? Java Reflection API. So as part of this API, there is one important class. Not only one, there are many, but this class will helps us a lot. Class, there is a class, right? Class dot for name. You must aware of it, right? In JDBC, we have used this to create or to load our driver. So using this class, lot of things we can achieve using Reflection API. Okay, so by using this class, Spring API implemented, whole API. How? Let us see. In general, to create any Java object, right? To create any Java object, in general, to create any Java class object, let's say if you have a class, yeah, in general, how we create object creation in Java. Let's say if you have a class car, to create this car class object, what we do in our main method, inside our main method, we do this way. Car C equal to new car. This is how we create object using new keyword. This is the keyword that we use to create object of car class. You know why object is required. Without creating object, we cannot able to call any methods of that particular class. Generally, any project implementation will happen inside methods only. Our requirements will be implemented inside any Java class methods only. So we should able to call such methods by using object only. Without creating object, we cannot able to call methods of that class. So this is how in a static way we create object. I mean, before compiling itself, we put this code. But when it comes to the Spring, we never use this new keyword to create object. You will never see new keyword in Spring to create any object. And if you find somewhere this new keyword, you should avoid it. If somewhere if you find new keyword, you should avoid that. Okay, because in Spring, you are not creating the objects of your classes. Whatever classes you implement throughout your project, right? You are not going to create objects directly. This is very, very important note. Okay, I see many, they will create objects, maybe accidentally or knowingly or unknowingly. Whenever you find new keyword in Spring based applications, okay, you should avoid it, because Spring is there for you to create objects. That is the main job of Spring, apart from other things. Okay, the first main important job that Spring will do is it will create objects for you. It will create objects for you. You should not use these new keywords anywhere in Spring applications. Okay, so how it will create? Without new keyword, can we create object for any class? Yes, we can create. Without using new keyword also, you can create object for this car class. How? You know that trick, right? You can use simple class dot for name, put your class here using class dot for name inside your main method. Okay, wherever your main method have, in that main method put class dot for name of car. Just give your class name for which class you want to create object. Dot new instance. So that it will create a car instance for you. It will create car object for you. It will create a car object for you when you use class dot for name new instance. So this is how Spring will create objects during runtime. Even this class names we will not hard code anywhere. We will be configuring all our classes in XML file or in properties files. We put all our class names here. Let's say if your application is having classes like car, bus, flight, we put all that class names in XML file. Spring will load all that classes into class dot for name and it will create instances for you. So if your application is having 3 classes like car, bus, flight, you need not to create object, though you need methods of car class, bus class, flight class. It will create objects for you using this approach. Let's see how it will work. Okay, let us see how it will work. Let me create one more project. Runtime API. I'll just use 1.8. Okay, just Java 1.8 I'll use here. Okay, just to see the difference. Okay, I'll create one car class here. Let me increase the font size. Okay, if you have any problems with ID or installations, right, you can reach out to me. I'll assign one person, he will help you. Okay, for the installations or tools support. Yeah, let me create a class here, car. Okay, so this is my car class. Let me put one default constructor here. Adding one default constructor. You all aware, right? What is constructor? You must, right? Yeah. So without constructor, we cannot able to create objects. So this is the place where actually your object will be created. Okay, so this is the car class and this is car class constructor. Just one output statement here. I have car object. Now, let me write one main method class. This is my main method class. Main method. Okay, so this is my main method. So in general, we create objects by using this approach. Car, new car. Using new keyword, we do this. We achieve it. What is your problem? Compiler problem. Runtime is 1.7, compiler is 17. Let me use 1.8 compiler only. Yeah. car object is created. When I run it, it created car object. I used what? New keyword. Without new keyword, how we can create this car class object? Which is by using class dot for name. Pass your class name here. As both classes, car class and this main class, are there in the same package, I just given the class name, or else you can give package name also. Fully qualified path beans.car. Okay. It is throwing some compile time exception. You need to handle it, or you need to put try catch. Otherwise, it will not leave you without handling. Dot new instance will create one more exception. Fine. Car. So I'm not using any new keyword now. Still, I can able to create car class object. Still, I can able to create car class object. Okay. Now, instead of hard coding here, okay. Instead of hard coding here, what I wanted to do, I want to read this configuration from some text file. Let me create one file, something my api.txt file, a simple notepad file I am creating. Okay, here I'll give my class name beans.car. Now, without hard coding it, you can read it from file and you can pass here. Okay, you know how to read file, right? File input stream or data input stream. This new data input stream, file input stream of file. So pass your file path myapi.txt. Okay, now read this data. How we will read das dot if das dot available. If data is available, okay, it is integer, right? Shall we read it directly? Das dot read line. How we iterate it? Okay, maybe available. Just to make sure the file is having data. Okay, if I equal to or greater than 1. So we are just reading that line and substituting here in the class dot for name. Just reading my class name from file map text cannot find. So we need to give fully qualified path. You guys thinking why we are dealing with this file input streams rather than Spring, right? Yeah, you will get it, okay? Car object. Okay, we can see car object is created. Maybe one more time it came into the iteration. Now we are able to create car class object, right? We are able to create car class object. Similar way, okay? We do configuring everything when Spring Framework started, right? In initial Spring Framework, they provided us a configuration file. We read all the classes from file, okay? That means the framework will read all the classes from file and it will load it into class.forName to create the object. This is how Spring will create objects during runtime. So using the simple principle, they built a big framework, they built using the simple principle. So the complete Spring will run on this same principle. We will just write our classes, remaining everything will be taken care by Spring. But before Spring, we used to handle this. Everywhere we used to create object, we used to call, set the parameters. Yeah. So whatever thing that we have returned here, right? The similar logic implemented as part of Spring containers. Spring given some self containers. We will learn about them. So that containers job is they will read data from your configuration file. In general Spring, we will use XML file. Okay, we read configurations from XML file and we load it into Spring container. Then Spring container will handle this object creation and many other things. There are a lot of features, right? All that features we will be achieving via Spring containers. What is Spring container job? Just it will read the file and it will create instance and it will do all other activities which we assign to him. Okay, so the simple principle, if you understand this simple core Java concept, okay, if you understand the simple core Java concept, understanding Spring is not a great thing, not a big thing. Easily you will get it. Okay, you guys, I think must aware of it, right? Reflection. If not, just go through that example, whichever is available, right? In our link here, this example is available. First example, this one, basic object creation at runtime. You just download it. Okay, so just click on download. You will get one zip file. Just go to that file, extract it. Okay, so you will be getting project. Just import this into your IDE. Use Eclipse or Spring Toolsuite. For time being, you use Eclipse only. We'll talk about this Toolsuite later. Import Java project. Sorry. Existing project. Finish. Just download all that projects and import this way and you can run it. Okay, so here I have a beans test class. Okay, so and here is the client class. What we are doing, just using class dot for name, and passing the class name here, okay, and creating the instance, test class instance. Run it. You will be seeing test class object. Okay, here some more logic I added. The reason is test class is having private constructor. Have you imagined that we can access a class with private constructor? Can we? If any class having private constructor, can we create object for that class? The simple answer is no. We say no. In general, it is not possible. Using new keyword, it is not possible, but we have reflection API. Using this API, it is possible. Okay, so loading my class here and getting class reference, and using this class reference, I'm asking to give me declared constructors. It will give array of constructors. From which class? From your test class. In test class, how many constructors we have? Only one private default constructor. So we will get only one constructor here in this array. So the first one I can access by using index 0. So index 0 constructor, which means the first constructor, I'm calling and asking to set accessible to true. As it is private, right? Private instance we can't create. But I'm making it set accessible true to access it. Let me give one more example on this. Okay. So already prepared example I have here. I have a car class. Okay. I have a car class. It is having make and model. And I have a constructor with the 2 arguments. Okay, 2 argument constructor I have here. Car class is having make and model, and one constructor I have here, and 3 methods I have here. Okay, one method is displaying make and model, and 2 methods are simple methods. Okay, now using complete reflection API, I'll show you how to access this constructor, how to access these methods, how to access your variables only by using reflections. Okay, let's see. I'm just loading my class here using class.forName, loading my class, giving complete package com.rb.car. So this is how first I need to create class reference. Once creating class reference, I'm asking to give the constructor. Earlier I asked to give the all constructors. Now I'm asking to give only one constructor, which is having 2 string arguments. Okay. So using this reflection class, I'm asking what? Get the constructor. Which constructor? Which constructor is having 2 string arguments in the car class? In car class, I have only one constructor which is having 2. If I put one constructor with 1 string argument, this constructor is not going to call. Okay, 1 argument constructor will not call because here I'm asking to call get constructor which is having 2 string arguments. Now I will get that constructor here. Once you get the constructor, you can call new instance method on it. But your constructor need 2 feedings, right? General constructor job is to create object by feeding some data into it. As it is a parameterized constructor, you need to give that 2 variables to create the object. So while creating new instance, I need to pass them to here. So Toyota is the make and Carmi is the model. So now finally I'll get the object here. So this is your object. Now you can typecast your object into car type. As it is your car, right? You can typecast and you can call your method. That's it. Let me comment these lines and execute it. To make you comfort in Spring only, I'm discussing this reflection API. Otherwise, I might not have. So you always may think something is happening behind in Spring if you don't know this concept. Now, as you will aware how constructors or methods or variables are calling using reflection API, while seeing Spring examples, you really realize, okay, this is how maybe internally Spring is doing, so that you will get complete command on it. Okay, that's why I wanted to put this discussion first before Spring. Okay. So run it. See, the display method is calling and printing your two variables whichever you inserted, Toyota and car. I never used any new keyword, and I never passed my arguments also to constructor directly. I used runtime API to do that. What you are really achieving here means during runtime you can perform all these jobs. Generally, if you want to create that same object, you need to do this way: cars equal to new car of, you need to pass these two values, make and model value, you need to hard code it. You need to hard code it. But if you hard code, what will happen? In hard code case, your application is completely designed and you deployed it. In future, if you want to change your configurations, now instead of Toyota with Carmi configuration, I want to go with Toyota with the Fortuner configuration or Innova configuration. Can I do that directly without disturbing my class if I hard code it? No, I can't. But if I use some dynamic approach, it will give flexibility to you to do these changes simply from properties files or from your XML files or from text files. Okay, the main agenda is here. It will simplify your application configuration. You need, for the maintenance purpose, right? In future, if you want to do some changes, you need not to disturb your classes. Without disturbing your classes, okay, without interrupting them, you can change your configurations easily so that your application behavior will be remaining same with the new configurations, so that you will be avoiding lot of compilation issues, lot of retesting issues. We can avoid all that things. Otherwise, continuously you need to edit your class, you need to again rebuild, compilation, testing, lot of things you need to perform. That all will be avoided here. And runtime polymorphism also we will achieve here. That's again a big concept. Okay. So before going into Spring, we will discuss that runtime polymorphism concept also. As you will achieve runtime polymorphism, you will get lot of flexibility. Flexibility in the sense, let's say if you buy a car, okay? Let's say if you buy a car, can you imagine a car with permanently fitted wheels, permanently fitted steering? Do you have car? Anyone? You must have, right? So if your car is having permanently fitted wheels to you, what is the problem? So as if you see from that car point of view, if it is permanently fitted, you can't able to repair it. One wheel damage will damage the entire car. You need to throw it away. If they give flexibility to you to remove that particular wheel and install new wheel, we can easily install the new wheel, and as usual we can use our car. So hard coding something in our application means we are tightly coupling, we are doing direct fitting of all classes together by using welding kind of thing, permanent fittings. You can't remove them. But if you use reflection APIs or if you follow runtime polymorphism concept, that means it will give lot of flexibility for your application. Easily you can remove whatever things that you want to remove from your application, and you can place new features in that place. So that is what tightly coupled and loosely coupled, right? So how we achieve all this means with runtime polymorphism concept and this reflection concept. Are these concepts specially introduced in Spring means? No, we have that concepts in core Java itself. Polymorphism, It's not a simple concept. It is giving us a lot of flexibility, runtime polymorphism concept, to easily plug our code or remove our code. Just let's see how to call methods also. Okay, how to call methods also. See, I'm not calling my method 1, method 2 directly. I'm not calling my method 1 and method 2 directly by using my car reference. Car dot method 1, method 2 I can call. But without using that, using reflection API itself, using this class reference, I'm asking, give me get a declared method. I'm asking, in this car class, there is a method with name method 1, give me that method. Okay. Now using this method, you can call invoke method to call this method. Using invoke method, you can call this method. Method 1 and method 2. So here, both the methods will be executed. What really we have in this method 1 and method 2? Nothing, simple output we have. Method 1 calling and method 2 calling. Let's see. Method 1 calling and method 2 calling. Am I using direct car reference and calling method 1 and method 2? No. Using reflection, I can able to call them. So it is giving us flexibility. During runtime, you can do this. You can configure these parameters from some text files or XML files. So from there, you can pass that parameters here. Let's say today I have requirement with method 1. Pass that method 1 name only from your XML file. And tomorrow I wanted to change my mind, or I thought to change it from method 1 to method 2. Let's rename it. Flexibly, it will move from method 1 to method 2. Something like if you have a car with electric hybrid vehicle, right? Or CNG with petrol. Today, I have full CNG in my tank so that I don't want to fill petrol. Okay, let's switch to CNG and you can drive. Tomorrow, CNG is out of tank, right? So now I wanted to go with the petrol. So I filled the petrol. Now I wanted to shift to petrol. So easily by clicking one switch, you would able to move from CNG to petrol. Similar way, your applications also should have that flexibility. Today I'm going with one flow, or today I'm connecting with one database. Today I'm doing, or I'm calling one business flow. Tomorrow I changed my mind and I wanted to shift it to another business logic. Today my business logic is having something calculations interest rate, some 8% or 7%. As a recession came, now I wanted to increase it to 10%. That configurations I should able to change. So based on my changes, my application behavior also should change. So that decisions you can take dynamically, right? That you can take dynamically, so that based on your decision, it will execute the flow. That all we will achieve by using this reflection API. Okay, this is how at runtime, during runtime, we can call our constructors. During runtime, we can invoke our methods. Not only that, you can even invoke your fields also. I have make model variables, private variables. If you see, I have two private variables. Two private variables, no setter, no getter. Still, do you want to access? Yeah, you can. Use this class dot get declared field, make and model. Okay, you get it. And as they are private, if anything is private, you can set accessible to true so that you can access them. Like how we access the constructor, right? Similar way, you can access your fields also. Set accessible true, true. So make field and model field, both now you can able to access. See, finally, these two variables I am calling and printing here by making them set accessible to true. So my make and model are printing here. Though they are private, I accessed it by making them accessible to true. So this is how reflections will help you to access anything during runtime. During runtime, Runtime means you can pass all these values. You can pass all these values later. During compilation time, not required. While compiling, you may pass them like as a command line arguments, or you may pass them from a file, or you may pass them from some other method call or REST call. Get it from anywhere. Runtime, you can pass these values and you can change your decisions. Okay, this is how reflections will help you to access anything during runtime.